Hello, Kansas City. Welcome to another fun episode of what we're calling Life After. This show is dedicated to exploring what happens with students after they graduate and walk the stage or find other paths to complete that experience. I am joined today by another person I had the fortune of working with in the past. I got to teach at Paseo Academy for 16 years in a row, and so I really got to know a lot of people and learn a lot about some of our best artists in our city. So we're joined today by Eric Ellis. Thank you, Eric, for taking the time to be here.
No problem. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. So let's explore that first and most important question. It involves a year. Tell our listeners what year you graduated, and then kind of what we look for is what stayed with you from that year.
I am a 2004 graduate, and everything stayed with me that year. I mean, I'm a true Paseo alumni. I love that school, man. The thoughts and the memories stayed with me, man. All my friends, all my teachers, and just everything that I went through, all 4 years, it kind of made me who I am, and got me ready for life, So yeah, man, all the programs that I was involved in,
Tell us some of those. Like, we may not remember, necessarily know what you're referring to. What were some of the things you were part of? Because I know you were a part of lots of things.
Let's just say that I was a busy bee. I did everything. I did a little bit of everything. I did ROTC. ROTC was one of my main things. I was in JLTC. I did that all 4 years. I did Leadership 2020. I did gospel choir. I was a part of the basketball team, cross country team all 4 years, track team, made it to state. One of the only two guys that made it to state, me and Larkin Collins. And it was a lot of Jag. I did a lot, man.
You know what Larkin's doing now?
Last time I checked, I think he may be working out or doing some other stuff.
He's doing that. He's boxing, but he's actually, I just talked to him today on this interview show. It's so funny you bring up his name. I talked to him at his firehouse. He's a fireman now. So
yeah, that's what he is, man. I was like, dude, I thought he was I thought he was maybe boxing or something like that, but yeah.
He's doing that too. Yeah, he fights in the whatever they call it in their system with the firemen too. They have kind of a boxing league, so he's pretty good at it. That's neat. So you guys were close then, and both did cross country with probably Coach High. Is that right, Anthony High?
Coach High, can't forget him, man. Right. Coach High. Coach, I forgot his name. Short guy with glasses. He came from Northeast. I had just so many memories, man. If I could go back and do it all over again, high school was the best years of my life.
Yeah, it really was cool.
Yeah,
I saw you guys enjoying it because there were quite a few offerings, and still are at Paseo. Lots of performances. You're a piano player, or were then, right? And
still am.
Still am now. And so you dabbled a lot of that. So let's explore this whole post-Paseo moment. You remember being there. You remember soaking up all it had to offer. And I know I saw you doing that. What do you remember about, like, right after it was over? What was your next move? And how did you know what to do?
Well, I mean, I was at a crossroads when I graduated. I had received a scholarship for track to go to Mid-American Nazarene, but I wanted to go to the Army, and the crossroads were, do I go to the Army or do I forfeit a scholarship? It was a partial scholarship, but granted, it was a scholarship. You know, I had, they were able to help me. And I also had a music scholarship as well. So, but I felt so strongly about going to the Army and becoming a military police officer. And I man, to this day, I really regret not doing that. It was one of those things where when you were young and you tell your parents, and some parents at this point, we were at the height of the Iraqi war. And so my mom and my dad at the time were against it. And we had, that's basically where I was. So long story short, I ended up going to college instead and becoming a pioneer for the Mid-American Nazarene. So that was basically where I was when I graduated. I was at that decision, that final decision making. I also had another offer to go to Alabama A&M to do triple jump as well for track. But I didn't want to leave the state, so I decided to just go ahead and go next door to Kansas and stuff like that. So that's basically all that was. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for explaining that, because young people that are listening, or anybody, that's kind of one of the things you can learn by talking to somebody else about the moves they made, is how they knew and what they would have rather done, or if they could do it again. And so it is a big moment. It's hard to know exactly what to do when you come out of school and you have these various options to pursue. So what was your next move? You finished up at the Nazarene school, or you started there, or what was the next move?
The next move was after I graduated high school, life became very interesting. I'm just going to set the scene. Life became very interesting because I went there my freshman year. I had a blast, but I also had a girlfriend. And at that time, I was very into the relationship and all that stuff. So, but she had graduated in 2005. So I had a decision to make because where she was going to college at was not in where I was going to be. It was going to be miles and miles and miles away in another state. So I made one of those young decisions, and I decided to leave my scholarship, and I decided to leave. Let me just say this first. If I had a choice to make all over again, I would probably make those same choices, meaning that for the exception of some, but I would probably make those same choices, being this, going down and following her to Alabama and all that stuff, only because it made me who I am today. Had I not made those moves, and I'm going somewhere with this, had I not made those moves that I made, I would not be the type of man that you see here today. Spiritually and mentally and emotionally, I would not be who I am today. So sometimes when the decisions that we make are usually the decisions that God has for us, the plans that He has for us. And so that's kind of where I am with that. So going back to the story, so I where I was finished my freshman year and had a great year, loved it, went to the conference championships, loved it. Music department loved me, I loved it. It was I had a blast, man. I was a part of the Black Student Union for Mid-America. We had a Black Student Union that we basically partnered with KU and stuff like that. And that was kind of our, getaway with everything, because I was a minority on campus. And that, to me, that was honestly, when I got there, it was a culture shock. But, knowing me and my personality, I got used to it. And instead of crumbling or whatever, I made friends that I still have today, so that are white and that are Mexican, that are some are Blacks as well. So that was freshman year. Sophomore year, I made that move, and I went to Alabama, and that was a very tough move because I left my scholarship that I had, my partial scholarship that I had at Mid-America to walk on at Alabama A&M. And I also went to Oakwood at the time, which is a Christian college down in Alabama. So I ended up doing that, and that didn't, pan out too well. But honestly, I was better for it. It was a crazy decision that I made. My family never understood the decision, but when you're young, you make those type of choices and you learn to live with them. So that was one of the decisions that I had learned to live with. But going down there, I had met some people, man. My knowledge as a musician went from 3 to 50. I mean, I was surrounded by so many people that, that basically knew music and that helped me along the way. I was struggling as a musician, trying to find my way. And then I was also struggling as an athlete because when I went to Mid-America, I didn't receive the type of training that I wanted to receive. And when I went to A&M, they helped me and they did things for me that I've never gotten anywhere. It was top of the line. And that was the athletics for Alabama A&M. When I went to Oakwood University, which was Oakwood College at the time, on the music side, that was a music college. And I just received so many people that, that helped me become a better musician. I came down there knowing nothing about music. And someone told me that was, I call him my big little brother. He said, forget all that you know, man, and you're gonna have to relearn everything that you thought you knew. And I came out of there my sophomore year at college, just a brand new man. I was in the best shape of my life. My knowledge of music and the world was a little bit better, and so. But the thing is, I ended up having to come back to Missouri and finishing my college there because that was a private college, and then Alabama A&M was costing way too much, so that kind of didn't work out. But it is what it is on that. So that's basically that in a nutshell. After my junior year, I basically ended up dropping out of college due to 2 reasons. My junior year, I had an internship at Shawnee Mission Northwest, and my major, I haven't even told you my major. My major was music education.
I was going to guess that's a school. Yeah, you must have been dabbling in teaching there for a minute, huh?
Definitely. My major was music education. And a part of our curriculum was to do to practice your craft on students, to teach. And I was at another crossroads my senior year. My junior year, I was still in college, and still did everything. My senior year came along, and I was at a crossroads. That's where we are now, my senior year. And I was interning at Shawnee Mission Northwest, and it really dawned on me when someone told me after I asked this question, what are the chances of me getting hired after I graduate? And they said slim to none, because they want actual work experience, on the job paid work experience. And they gave me the advice of maybe I should substitute teach for a while. And I completely bawled and broke down because I was told that I would actually get a job at the school that I was teaching at. And when I found that out, I did the immature thing and I didn't stick with it. I dropped out of college. I dropped out of college for those 2 reasons. For reason number 1, the last semester was the worst semester of my college career because I never could keep my job because of track and all that other stuff. And after I found out how much I would be making as a music teacher versus what I was about to get a job in, I said no. I was at a cross. I was kind of angry at that. I spent all these years in school for a degree that I wouldn't be making as much money in. Granted, I love the degree. I had a passion for music. I love music still to this day. I still teach music. But when I looked at
you're right. And then we absolutely know in this whole world that we don't value educators near enough with the paycheck that they, again, a lot have master's degrees and work their way through a lot of different schooling and a lot of requirements. And then you compare them to like a business degree, what somebody right down the street or hallway is making, it's night and day. I share the same understanding. I have friends of mine that had, BAs, not even BMAs, just bachelors of business or business degrees, BSA, I think it is. And when we would talk about what they started at and what I started at, it was just kind of unbelievable. So I am wondering where you are with wanting to go back to education or at all. Just know that there's still a definite need. And I would tell you all those hours that you got don't go away. They're still in there. It's still like an unfinished pursuit if it's not complete. And I'd be curious, like, is that part of your goal, or are you going to kind of call it good? Or do you think finishing out your senior year or getting those last credits is still part of your goal?
No, I just had an epiphany, when I did the comparison. And let me just say this before I go on. I give all props to teachers because you absolutely have to love what you do. I mean, if you go into teaching in any field, if you do not love what you do, then you will not last. Trust me. I've known from experience, because you have to love people and you have to love kids. Those are two different things, because students and teachers can really push you to be somebody that you're not. And those years that I interned, I've seen teachers talk about kids in ways that I had to look at them a certain way. I was like, well, why are you here? And then I've dealt with kids and students or whatever, high school students at that are, let's just say, they're challenging, and you have to have that mental and emotional connection with kids. And so that's where my passion is. I never stopped loving teaching. I never stopped loving kids. I have 5 of them. But
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a whole different interview. Okay, so bring us to now, I suppose. I would love to talk forever, but we have to move up to the current day a little. And then I want to hear this idea of what you think positive advice for anybody listening, especially young people. But so what's your current deal? What are you doing? Are we at that point in the story kind of where you found your way into something you're doing now, or has it changed a few times?
I'm still in music. I still do music. And I make a whole lot more than what I would make as a music teacher, but I hate my job.
Oh no.
I don't really hate the job per se. It's the atmosphere. I work for the government, and it's an easy job, and I make a lot of money doing it. It's just, the tiring hours. So my thing is, I just, if I were to make some different decisions and stuff like that, it would be to really follow, your passion. And that's what I'm doing at the present moment. I'm following my passion of music and of kids. I own my own studio. It's called Variety Recording, LLC. And I've done over four different people's albums. I am a music producer now instead of a music teacher. That was one of my main passions, to make music. And I've been doing that for a long time. As you can see, my studio right now is under construction. The new location that we're at.
Is it hooked up? I see some keys over there. Are those live? Or are they not live? Ooh, that's a pretty board.
Nord piano.
My gosh.
Nord piano 5.
That's a Nord. Yeah, I dream of having a Nord someday. That's not a small purchase. So is it hooked up?
Yeah, it's hooked up.
Would you want to play a little bit?
It's on the headphones right now because my speakers are still. Still ordering.
We didn't talk about this beforehand. It's all good. I just saw I recognize those ivories over there. That's a keyboard. Yeah. So we'll have to hear from you another time sometime. But all right, so you're doing that. You're doing the music. You're doing some producing. You're working kind of another gig that you don't love as much to be able to do the other things that you also do. I say I can certainly relate. I play a little, in my basement, and I have the desire to do that all week long while I'm doing other things that, you hurry and get done with because you can get back to your other love. And I'd say, young people, if you're listening, I think the goal, a lot of the people I keep interviewing, is to have those become one and the same and to get closer and closer to what that is. It's a similar dream for me. If I was paid to play music and go do shows and, tinker around for hours and months at a time until I made an album, dream come true, And so I think it's still something I play with and kind of, it's not stopped after all these years, but I'm with you. I want that to be my thing, or I would love to have more of an audience, or even the way we can just kind of stream audio for people. You do some of that, right? I've seen some of your footage where you show people kind of the beats and how you construct them, or, how the loops come about. You get a lot of attention from that, or you get some people giving you some notice?
I've gotten all 4 of the albums that I produced have come from lives and videos that I've done on Facebook. Let me tell you this as well. You guys really have to find literally your passion, and once you find your passion, find the financial backing for it, and have a plan. Because and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, Chris, but
no, that's so important. It seems relevant, right? If you're really going to do it, you got to really do it.
Yeah, and that's basically where I am now. Is music and kids. I also coach football as well, so that's where my passion for kids come in. I had to put it in perspective because I love sports. I'm not able to play it anymore, but I love to coach it, and it just, like I said, everything just worked out, man. After going through all of that stuff, I guess it prepared me for now, teaching kids and finding that passion that I have for music, and finding that passion that I have for kids. It prepared me for now. I coached a team that made it to the Super Bowl, and we're fresh off of a Super Bowl win. And the kids, I treat them like my own sons, man. That's basically where I am now. I'm doing music. I'm working a job that I don't necessarily love, but I'm making money at it. So I get the financial backing. I got the finances. Then I have the music. Then I have the passion for kids.
Very good. Well, thanks for summarizing all that for us, guys. And so we're kind of at that final point where I know it well. I had teachers that really did take an extra moment and make some comments to me as I was approaching, kind of take me under their wing, or, just make me feel acknowledged or noticed before I made my move as I went out into the world. Do you remember any advice like that? Or do you know of things now that you think would benefit young people to hear? Because I think 2021 compared to, what was it, 2004, there are some more intense challenges and some of the same challenges, but definitely, my goodness, every day I think we hear about an additional thing to think about, or another. It's certainly more and more challenging to stay positive. What do you think the thing that young people might need to hear might be today in this world?
It'll be it'll be this. I'll give you this. There's a guy called Major Payne, and he would always, oh, not Major Payne, Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness. Well, let me just say this. I would say, have a like I said before, have a purpose, have a purpose, and then have a plan, and then plan out your purpose. That's what I always tell people, you know. And then I was told a long time ago to take care of yourself, so no one else has to take care of you. And those are the two things that I've always lived by. So, you know, you have a plan, have a purpose, plan your purpose, you know, make sure your purpose is your passion, you know, and those things should always align together. And
take care of yourself so no one else has to. That's
profound.
Yeah. That's a t-shirt, or at least a meme out there in the world, but that's so true.
That's basically what I've lived by, you know, and so that's one of the things that I've always, you know, always try to mirror myself after those things, and that's kind of what made me, you know, the man I am today. So
very good. Well, thank you so much for giving us a catch up on your narrative. It's been really revelational and tells me a lot more than I assumed or knew, because I knew, you know, a little bit about people when we're in high school. And it's so interesting to see that, again, all these interviews, the similar things that kind of stepped up and became part of your major high school experience that you really seem to hold on to. I'm excited to hear you're still feeling that way about those same things now. And that's why this show is so fun, is that I do think we really find a lot of those things before we realize that we found them. And then we just go out into our lives and sink our teeth in, like, yeah, this really is me. This really is what I love. I'm a similar way. I was hypothesizing that I would be able to love education for my life, and really had similar direction from some of the people with me about passion and purpose. And it's not just about an income. It's not just about sustaining yourself, but you really get to choose what you do with your abilities and, you know, with your own intelligence. And that it has been a blessing to be an educator. So if you're out there listening, young people, we also need more educators in our world. And you heard Eric talk about really what it takes to dedicate and be in that path. Plus, I think Eric's just not even done with his path. Who knows, right?
I'm just starting.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, but you never know, man. You could be running a program or founding a program and then find your own way to be this educator person also. Because I think a lot of what I'm hearing you say, a lot of people would listen to, and we need more of those voices. So no push. You do your thing. You do what you're doing now, but just know there's a call to you when you're ready, or if you're interested to join the team and be part of the education path. Even officially, sometimes it feels to go back and get those last hours. Remember, young people, college isn't a time limit. You still have all those credit hours. They're still there, kind of like in a bank, ready for you to maybe go back and, you know, look at them again someday. So again, no pressure. I'm not this kind of show where I'm telling people what they should do, but I appreciate you taking the time and updating us about it. I wish for all your success. And students and Kansas Cityans who are listening, if you enjoy these shows, they're called Life After, please reach out to me. My name is Chris Odam, and I will help you find your way on this same platform and tell young people or not so young people about your path, because it is very, I think, inspiring and informative for us to think about where we're going before we ever even get there. So thank you, Eric. One last thing you want to shout out to Kansas City. I always like to finish with that. We are potentially talking to Kansas City right now. What's one thing you'd want to tell your city?
Keep pushing, man. Let's continue to put Kansas City on the map in all that you do. You know, let's continue to push each other. Let's not tear each other down and become crabs in a barrel. That's one thing Kansas City used to be known for. We're getting better at that. So let's continue to push each other, you know, and encourage each other. Mr. Odom, I appreciate you, and I wish you the best on this show, man. And I thank you for allowing us to get the platform to share our experiences, life at high school.
Absolutely. There's still a lot of story to tell after it's over. That was my hypothesis, is that we really don't know all of the amazing life experiences that come after high school while we're in high school. And unless we have older siblings or we have people in our family who can help us kind of put it in perspective, the more people we hear tell their story, I think it helps us get a better picture of what it's really going to be like for our own lives. So thanks for listening, Kansas City. This has been another fantastic episode of Life After, and we're signing off.